Hello, and welcome to another Joyful Gem with Audrey Joy. September 11th, 2001 is a day that will go down in infamy, not just for this country, but for the rest of the world as well. Anyone who was alive and old enough to have memories likely remembers what they were doing and where they were when they found out about the attacks. The work I do is in sales, and in September of 2001, I'd been doing that for just 6 months. So I was still building my client list and my, business book. I had no formal appointments for that day, and my plan was to be out in the community, meeting people and making friends. That's a nice way of saying cold calling, which is dreaded by all salespeople. Well, it quickly became apparent that was not going to be a good idea. The entire country was in shock. So I did what most everyone else did that day. I sat in front of my television and I watched the events unfold. I saw the second plane hit the second tower. I saw President Bush be notified that we were at war. I saw the towers fall and the Pentagon be hit, and listened sadly as the news came that a fourth plane, which very likely was either headed to the Capitol or to the White House, had been lost in a Pennsylvania field, taking with it true American heroes who very likely saved hundreds of lives that day. Still, nearly 3,000 people, mostly Americans, were murdered on American soil by terrorists. It was indeed a dark, dark day. A few years later, I was in New York City and saw Ground Zero. All of the rubble had been removed. It was just a big giant hole in the ground, surrounded completely by chain link fence. But what struck me is how many people came to visit, and everyone stood in quiet awe and reverence, just remembering what had happened there and how many people had lost their lives there. As time went on, a beautiful memorial was built on that site. And I have had the privilege of not only seeing that one, but also the one that was built at the Pentagon. Given the opportunity, I would urge all Americans to go and see those memorials. So much care and thought was put into what those would be. After 9/11, there was a unity in the country for just a moment in time. Sadly, tragedy often has that effect. People pull together when the going gets tough. It was a beautiful thing to be a part of, and I was especially proud of the United States of America in that moment. We can't control how others act or respond to things, but we can control our actions. So in the spirit of remembering 9/11 and the unity that followed there, I admonish you to be a force of unity and not division. Be mindful of your words and your actions and your posts on social media and your words in person. I am saying this to remind myself just as much as others. If you found value in this gem, share it with a friend. And if you're not already a Joyful Gem subscriber, follow me on Facebook, thisisforme.com. You can log into my website, thisisforme.com, to get your Joyful Gem subscription, or just email me at audreyjoy, thisisforme.com. Be joyful.